What's going on, everybody? It's Jay Coffee Talk back again with another video for you guys. Got some pretty big news in the hip-hop world that the hip-hop heads, who are around my age, I'm 34, will appreciate this. I gotta give a shout out to an Instagram follower of mine. His Instagram handle is at D24Stream, and he tagged me in a post. You'll see him commenting on it. You'll see the images popping up on the screen. It was a post. Rapper Canibus is promoting a new project to his Matrix Theory 3. And in the comments, he was saying, yo, is it true Eminem dissed you on this new track? Which I had seen that, if you guys catch my channel, I've been constantly saying, since Shady Records, I'm from Buffalo, so it's huge news to me when they signed Griselda, Conway, West Side Gun, Benny the Butcher, you know what I'm saying? Was very happy about it. And since then, I've mentioned it in many blogs. Yo, why haven't they really done music together? Why hasn't, Con or West Side or any of them been on Eminem's projects that he's dropped since he signed with them? And as you know, Griselda still hasn't dropped an official Shady project. They've still been putting out their own music independently. I just did a video about Fly God is an Awesome God. I talked about the Benny the Butcher, the plugs I met on there. Their Shady project is coming soon. But anyways, I believe me and this gentleman talked before about Eminem and Canibus. So thank you at D24Stream for tagging me on that. And he's saying, as you'll see in the comments, yo, get at Eminem. He dissed you on this new track. Do it for Joe Budden. Do it for hip hop. And, he's saying he smoked you. So I did see that there's a new track. As I was saying, why hasn't Griselda and Eminem really collaborated? Conway and Eminem got a track out. News of it just broke the other day. Alchemist on the beat on it. And I haven't heard the whole song. I've just heard the preview that's floating around out there. And in the hook, Eminem says, I used to be a man of the people, hit the clubs and mingle. I used to dream one day I'd be effing pink like a flamingo. That was back when I smoked cannabis. Man, it was so tough because I was a fan of his. So the Eminem and the Canibus beef is still alive. Like, this is interesting to me. Not that I ever really thought they deaded it and were friends, but it just seemed kind of like the beef fell inactive. And a couple of years ago, we actually saw Canibus and LL Cool J get on stage, and I believe it was 4321, which, as we all know, that's the song where their issue started, and squash the beef and perform together. So I was kind of thinking, like, man, if Canibus is cool to collaborate and piece it up with LL Cool J, I'm pretty sure him and Eminem are cool, right? But this beef between, but I guess not, obviously, but this beef between Eminem and Canibus goes way back. They were taking shots at each other from the jump. I remember on Role Model on Eminem's on Slim Shady LP, he said something. What'd he say? Battle rap. If I dish you with a battle rap, you roll for Canibus or something like that. And he was taking shots at each other. Later they were making flat out songs, getting at each other. Canibus had that one joint. All the hip hop heads, please tap in the comments. Let's talk about this. If you guys haven't been on my channel before, it's all about talking in the comments. Comments is an open thread. Let's talk about the topic. But let's talk about this Eminem and Canibus beef. From what I heard, legend has it that when LL Cool J, as we know, this is what I heard. Legend always had it that back when Canibus and LL started beefing, as we know, the original verse Canibus wrote for 4321, he referenced something about borrowing the mic on, you can go on YouTube and hear it. It's out there. He said something to LL about, let me borrow that mic or something. As we know, LL Cool J's iconic microphone tattoo It's dope. It goes down his goes down, like the cord goes down his arm and everything like that. And then Canibus, said that LL Cool J took offense, asked Canibus to change his verse. Canibus did change his verse, but then LL's verse remained like a diss. If you remember, he was like, man, he went in on Canibus on that joint. He was like, let's get back to this mic on my arm. If it ever left my side, it would transform into a time bomb. You don't want to borrow that. You want to idolize. You don't want to make me mad. You want to socialize. There's something. He's like, blow you to pieces. Leave you covered in feces. LL Cool J. Every little boy want to pick up the mic. Something wrong with the real. He said the symbol on my arm is off limits to challengers. You swinging rusty swords. I swing the Excalibur or whatever. But anyways, then we know Canibus. He had Second Round Knockout, which is one of the hardest diss tracks ever, in my opinion. Then LL Cool J had that Return of the Ripper, I believe it was. Or Can I bust? Yes, she can. I can't remember, man. Help me out, everyone, in the comments, man. But anyways, Canibus heard through the grapevine Eminem ghost wrote the diss track, one of the diss tracks that LL made aimed at him. And they were on the set of a video somewhere, and Wyclef and Canibus bumped into Eminem and asked him, hey, did you ghost write this joint for LL Cool J? And I don't know if it was they thought he ghost wrote the 4-3-2-1 verse or another diss song, but Eminem told him, nah, I didn't do it, man. I'm not the one that did it. I believe Eminem's words exactly were, dog, I didn't do it. I'd tell you if I did it or something like that. And then, they took shots at each other. And then Canibus, he had that one album, I believe it was like a concept album, and it was called True Hollywood Stories, which was like a play on E! True Hollywood Stories, like the show that would come on E! Entertainment TV. And there was some song on there where he took Eminem's whole stand thing and was dissing Eminem. And, he went all at him. And then Eminem was dissing him on, what was that joint? On Square Dance and some other tracks. And, the beef kept going back and forth. I can't remember all the tracks. See, this is a beef a lot of people in hip-hop don't even know of. I mean, they know of, but they're not aware of all the tracks that they had, aimed at each other. And then after the beef was dead for a while, they weren't really dissing each other. I want to say getting close to 2010, Canibus signed with this like underground label. I believe it was called like Warlord Records or something like this. It was like an internet label. A dude, you know what I'm saying, like did it out of his house, I believe. And, just like someone like me making YouTube content or something, the dude's name was DZK. He did a track with Canibus called Pop Killer, but check out what they did. The DZK dude reached out to D12 because, at the time, as we know, D12 and Eminem, that's another kind of story I've covered. They kind of drifted apart over time. And, there's tension out there that these guys ain't really talking about. As we know, D12 really doesn't exist anymore. I don't know what the official standing of the group is, but I know they all put out statements saying they left the group. Then I heard at one point they were reconciling. At another time, they had Fuzz Scooter join the group too. But anyways, the point is, these guys are a little mad at M, or there's some kind of tension in the air there, whether they talk about it or not, but they're close, they're like family, they keep it to themselves. But what this dude did was, he made it look like D12 was dissing Eminem. Because what he did was, the DZK, the underground guy that Canibus had signed with, reached out to D12 for a feature. They got the vocals, the verses from D12. Then he put it on a song with him and Canibus dissing Eminem. The song was called Pop Killer Airstrike. It came out of nowhere, as I said, as the beef had seemed inactive. And, it made everyone, it gave everyone the appearance that D12 was dissing Eminem as well. It was pretty smart what they did. I don't know if y'all respect it or not. D12 called it a hoe move. But anyways, what do y'all think about all this? Eminem now in 2019, and we're talking about the beef originated back in like 97. So we're talking like 22 years later. It might have been 96 even. No, I believe it was 97, 98 the beef originated. And 22 years later, now Eminem, takes a shot at Canibus. And what do you guys think about all this? As I said, the guy who tagged me again, thank you at D24 Stream, he said, diss him, do it for Joe Budden. As we know, Joe and M got a little bit of beef, but Joe isn't stepping out of retirement. I forget who else he said to do it for, but the beef's still alive. I want to hear in the comments from y'all all about this. What do you guys think of the whole Eminem Canibus beef? What tracks are memorable to you? Where do you guys remember the beef originated? Like everything about it. Where do you remember the beef originating? What was the first dish you heard and all that? And I'll tell you, man, I always held Canibus in very, very high stand. Like, he's on a high level, in my opinion, in the rap game. Dude is very lyrical. I like this stuff. But, man, remember that one time Eminem was, like, clowning around? You know how Eminem does voices and likes to be funny? He was clowning around, mocking the way Canibus flows. He was doing, like, a freestyle, like a Canibus type voice. It was funny, his Canibus impression. But anyways, Canibus was always dope. 4321 was one of the dopest tracks to me. At first I was like, I didn't like the way it went down that him and LL started beefing. But, man, like, LL, there was an underrated beef, man. But Second Round KO, one of the hardest diss tracks to me. In the end, it looks to everyone like LL won that beef. But I'll tell you, I was very, very disappointed in Canibus. I lost some respect for Canibus. I want to know what you guys think about this as well. When he pulled the notepad out during the the battle with Disaster. That was like, that's a no-no. He pulled out the notepad. He forfeited. Disaster ate him up. He said something about, you got that sling on. You ain't never had been good shoulder to lean on. And he said, Jermaine Williams means you're never going to make millions or something like that. Man, so much stuff. I love looking back in hip-hop. So much stuff pops in my head. You remember when LL and Canibus were going at it? Wyclef had that What's Clef Got to Do With It song. And another track I like by Canibus was on the Wyclef Jean Gone Till November remix, where Canibus, he jumped in there and kicked that hard verse, where Clef was like, me and Canibus working the midnight shift. But anyways, what do you guys think about this? This is interesting to me. Eminem takes a shot at Canibus in 2019. The beef is still alive. What do y'all think? Seems like every time M picks up the mic recently, he's dissing somebody. But I'm gonna close this video out. Can't wait to hear from you guys in the comments. It's Jay Coffee Talk. If you didn't already, please hit the thumbs up, like button, the subscribe button, and the notification bell. We talk music, sports, hip hop, news, movies, current events, and much more on this channel. Let's talk about this in the comments, y'all. I really look forward to hearing from all my hip hop heads. It's Jay Coffee Talk. Let's take this walk down memory lane. Eminem versus Canibus. Peace, y'all. Catch you on the next video.